We will get started at the top of the hour.
Welcome everybody to the 2024 Bigger Industry Credit Union Annual Meeting. My name is Jim Rickwood. I'm the current president of the Board of Directors. And before we start today's meeting, we'll have a couple housekeeping items to go through. A copy of the annual meeting book is attached to the login event today. Or it can be found on our website. Also, for anybody who wants a paper copy of it, they are available at all three branches. There will be several motions that need to be addressed in today's meeting. We will use the hand raising feature to make a motion, and there will be polls to follow. Please be mindful that this is for our members. I'll just check with Brock to make sure we have quorum for today's meeting, and Brock gives me the thumbs up. So we'll start with our treaty land acknowledgement, and I would like to acknowledge to the following people of the land we are on today, the Dakota, Lakota, Métis. I would like to acknowledge their ancestors and the Indigenous people that still reside here on Treaty 6 land. So without further ado, we're going to call the meeting to order. We need first is to appoint a secretary, and Lori Angelopoulos has graciously agreed to take on that task. The adoption is before us. Everybody's had a chance to go through that. We will need a motion to adopt the agenda and a seconder, and then we will have a vote on that. So we will look for somebody to make the motion to adopt.
Lindsay is adopted.
Lindsay has adopted. We'll need a seconder. Arlene Jennis has seconded that. We will need a consensus on that. So if everybody could give us the hands up sign. Okay, we do have consensus on that. So that is carried. Thank you. So our last year's annual meeting was held on March 20th, 2024, and these are the minutes as follows from that meeting. Vice President Jim Rickwood declared the quorum had been reached and the meeting was called to order at 12:02 p.m. Lori Angelopoulos volunteered to be secretary for this meeting. Jim Rickwood thanked everyone for joining the Teams meeting. He mentioned that the AGM booklets were available at all three branches for members who would like to see one. There is a link to the PDF copy on the Teams call for those who are watching online. He also noted that questions could be directed to the staff, board, or management at any time. Lisa Haynes made a motion to adopt the agenda as presented. Carleen Jennis seconded. That motion was carried. Jim read the minutes of the 2023 annual meeting. Pam Eaton moved that the minutes be accepted as presented. Sherry Lilly seconded. That was carried. Jim Rickwood reviewed the affidavit of completion of reports and the proof of notice. Bob Atkinson delivered the president's message via video as he was unable to attend in person. The following reports were presented. Director's report was presented by Jim Rickwood. Introduction of the board of directors in place for 2023. Jim Rickwood thanked Bob Atkinson and Stacey Beadle for their service and welcomed Arlene Wilson and Jeff Wheaton to the board as their replacements. Ian Hawkins presented the money report covering the financial trend results for 2023, announcement of patronage payment of 5% on interest earned or paid in 2023. Total patronage payment is $506,320. Bryce Kramer introduced himself and did a quick recap of 2023. The retirements of 2022 have created new roles in 2023. Financial literacy and fraud awareness were some things that the credit union was focused on. Home savings accounts were introduced. CardWise is now open website for Calabria cards. Bryce Kramer introduced the staff of the Bigger and District Credit Union, agency, and accounting firm, and also gave recognition to those who celebrated milestone anniversaries within the credit union system. 5 years to Carleen Jennis, Jenna Scott, Peggy Lake, and Alyssa Williams. 10 years to Cherry Delisay. 15 years to Ian Hawkins. 20 years to Bryce Kramer. Brian Heinrichs from Vertus Group gave the audit report and stated that it was a clean audit and they received everything they asked for. He thanked the management for the further cooperation and the members for their business. Bryce Kramer invited questions from the membership. There were no questions. Bernadette Garrett made a motion to adopt the report, seconded by Pam Eaton, carried. Michelle Keith motioned that Vertus Group be our auditors for 2024, seconded by Susan Eklund. That was carried. Jim Rickwood asked if there was any new business. There was none. Jim Rookwood gave a reminder that Bigger District Credit Union is celebrating 75 years in 2024 and will be hosting events in both Landis and Purdue in April, with a third event scheduled for October in Bigger. Members were invited to purchase tickets to celebrate in these events. Sandy Gray adjourned the meeting at 12:28 p.m. Those are the minutes. If there was any errors or omissions, please report them, but we'll need a motion to approve the 2024 minutes. Motions can be raised by raising your hand in the Teams, and we'll need a seconder as well. Jennifer Casey makes the motion. Need a seconder.
And Janice.
And Janice seconds that. There will be a poll to get a consensus to move. And we do have that consensus, so we will move on. So within our book, on item number 6 here and online, we have the affidavit of completion of reports, the proof of notice to notify our membership of today's meeting. So there they are. Everybody can look through those, and they are there for proof and of informational purposes. Okay. Okay, so now it's time for my message. As yet another year has passed us by and we find ourselves in 2025, it provides us all with the opportunity to make an informal self-audit on how we fared for 2024. Within the Bigger District Credit Union, the same assessment occurs. We formulate a strategic plan for the upcoming year and we make a review of the organization at the close of the year to determine whether objectives and goals were met. The goal is always to keep the interests of our membership on a first and foremost basis while delivering the best services on an efficient and fiscally responsible platform, ensuring that the benefits of that diligent vision fits in the strategy of our credit union. Despite the many challenges and bumps in the road that occurred in the past year, it brings our board of directors great pride to report the organizational achievements and successes made during the past year that will be rolled out throughout our annual meeting. Our strengths are not only our extensive services and products that we offer in our credit union branches and our insurance and accounting subsidiaries, but also the delivery of those services in a professional and respectful way. Our staff are exceptional and we are very proud of them. As a small town credit union, we're able to make the relationships that give us the edge to offer personal support and educational seminars, ensuring members' financial success, offering options in product diversity, security on fraud prevention, agriculture and commercial, insurance, financial literacy, and an endless amount of follow-up on every aspect of our spectrum of service. In 2024, we celebrated Bigger District Credit Union's 75th anniversary in the 3 communities we serve, with great attendance at each event. Our growth and accomplishments demonstrated our commitment to membership through sometimes challenging times. However, as always, the board and management work closely together to achieve the best results for our members. As we welcome 2025, we face imminent and yet unknown challenges on the global scene, while dealing with the fraud, information technology, open banking, artificial intelligence, and so much more that we have before us for consideration and management on a daily basis. While every year has its own rewards and challenges, the constant factor remains that our focus is on member first, as Bigger District Credit Union remains committed to our cooperative roots. I would like to thank our committed membership for your dedication and support, which is once again returning a patronage dividend of $626,027.60 for the year 2024. This truly exemplifies the credit union cooperative difference. Lastly, I would like to thank our CAO, Bryce Kramer, for his leadership in the organization and his representation of us throughout the system, of which we are highly regarded for our successes and innovational strategies. Also, many thanks to our management team, credit union, as well as insurance and accounting agency staff. Whether they are frontline or back office, they all play an integral part in making the organization the success story that it is. Commitment of our board of directors is a necessity in the cooperative system, and I'm very honored to have been part of this board and witnessed the contributions to the Big River District Credit Union. Thank you to each and every one of you. Please consider letting your name stand for a director position in the March 2026 elections. Reach out to any of the directors for insight on that topic. It's very informative, educational, and rewarding to be part of our community's successes. Should you have questions or want some clarification on the annual report, please reach out to our directors or management team at any time. Okay, now I would like to introduce our 2024 Board of Directors. Myself, Jim Rickwood, act as president. Matthew Craig act as our first vice president. Bernadette Garrett, our second vice president. Sheila Itterman, director. Michelle Keith, director. Becky Huber, director. Susan Eklund, director. Suzanne Johnson, director. Darlene Wilson, director, and Jeff Wheat, director. Going forward, we have some new faces on the board as terms have expired for Becky Huber, Sheila Itterman, Michelle Keith, and Susan Eklund. We would like to thank all of them for their time and dedication that they have given to the board over the past terms. This year, an election was not necessary, and 3 new board members have been appointed by acclamation. Coming onto the board for 2025, we welcome Jeff Seidel, Cole Heather, and Kevin Hadley. I'm going to turn it over to Ian. He's going to talk about the money part of it.
Thanks, Jim. Good afternoon. My name's Ian Hawkins, VP of Support Services here at the Big River District Credit Union. I'd like to take a few minutes to summarize the money section from the annual report for the 2024 business year. 2024 was another good year financially for the Big River District Credit Union. Our assets continued to grow, increasing to $317 million, or 3.69% above the prior year. Our off-balance sheet investments also increased by 11%, increasing from $90 million in 2023 to over $100 million in 2024. At the end of 2024, the total assets managed by your credit union was $417 million. In 2024, we were also able to grow our loan portfolio by just over 7%, or $11.2 million, which was ahead of the provincial average for loan growth. Your credit union was also able to maintain a very low level of delinquency at only 0.03%. We appreciate the responsibility taken by our borrowing members to honor their loan repayment obligations. In 2024, our member deposits grew from $270 million to $279 million. This translates to 3.09% growth locally versus the provincial average of 6.37%. The Big River District Credit Union continues to work hard to manage its capital strength. Having a strong equity position allows us a cushion which can be used to develop new product lines or services in the future. The Credit Union Deposit Guarantee Corp, or CUDG, who is our regulator, monitors key ratios to ensure we operate within their guidelines. In 2024, our eligible capital to risk-weighted assets ratio was 16.43% as compared to the regulatory minimum of 10.5%. Our leverage ratio also exceeded the minimum requirement, being 10.4%, where the minimum required is greater than 5%. On the revenue side, our insurance agency had another solid year, as did the credit union. Non-interest revenue was slightly below the previous year, and interest revenue was slightly stronger than the prior year. In 2024, the net income for the organization was $2.74 million. The credit union remains committed to our communities and our members. In 2024, we invested approximately $202,000 back into our communities through monetary donations, sponsorships, promotional items, and advertising. We also continue to provide free financial services to community organizations. As Jim mentioned earlier, I'm also very pleased to announce that your board of directors has approved a 5% dividend back to the membership. That's on interest paid or earned in 2024. The total for this year is $626,027.60 going back into the hands of our members. This concludes the money section for 2024. We are hopeful that 2025 brings us continued success. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Bryce now for a discussion on management and analysis.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bryce Kramer, the current CEO of Bighorn District Credit Union. Another year's passed us, and I enjoy getting the opportunity to come before all of you when I get to talk about how well we are doing and how great our staff are. Bighorn District Credit Union once again remained diligent to keeping to the cooperative principles. In doing so, community support continued to be on top of the board and management's minds. With that in mind, we were able to continue to make sure our communities prospered by giving back to our communities. One area that stands out was in 2024, we made a large donation of $50,000 to Farm in the Dale, something that both the board and management feel will be a great addition to our community. Due to the sensitive nature of our data you have entrusted us to hold, significant efforts have been and resources went into making sure your data remains safe. In 2024, we implemented zero trust protocols to increase our cybersecurity, data retention, and risk mitigation, making sure your data stays safe. On the member-facing side, staff continue to prioritize leadership, looking for opportunities to get to know and add value to our members and their needs. Before I get into introducing our amazing team, I want to thank all of them for their resilience that they showed in 2024. 2024, we've seen some challenges, medical leaves, maternity leaves, family losses, and a robbery. The way the staff stayed together strong, committed to each other and their members was commendable. Now on to introducing our wonderful staff. Our executive team, myself, Bryce Kramer, Pamela Eaton, Ian Hawkins, and Jocelyn Pletz. Our member service team, Darian Bartasak, Aaron Bover, Sherry Dallasay, Candace Kennan, Katerina Nesvik, Lorraine Metz, Fabiola Neufeld, Deb Penley, Becky Ramsey, Christine Young. Our wealth management team, Ashley Forsay, Lindsay Poole, Jennifer Casey, and Alyssa Williams. On the lending team, Lori Angelopoulos, Caitlin Baroni, Kathy Ferguson, Carla Jennis, Sandy Gray, Sarah Thompson, Josie Ireland, Jade Kushner, Peggy Lake, and Shayla McPhee. Our support team, Marissa Kembron, Chantel Downton, Carlene Jennis, Haley Metz, Sudu Mariapan, and Brock Silvernagel. For insurance subsidiary, Shadi Achkar, Janice Christensen, Leisha Redlick, April Garrett, Rianne Herbeck, Lisa Haynes, Tanya Hebert, Raylan Hooper, Emmett Keith, Casey Langton, Brittany McAvoy, Stephanie Nickel, and Leah Wetcole. Over to our accounting firm subsidiary, Nina Carruthers, Sue Harris, Amy Haynes, Dylan Haynes, Aston Rochelle, and Donna Roblard. Thank you again to all of our staff for their great work this past year. Finally, I get the chance to acknowledge our long-term service awards. This is great recognition. We really appreciate the years you put in and all the knowledge you've gained over those years. Our five-year award recipients this year, Leisha Redlick, Jocelyn Pletz. Our 10-year award recipients, Casey Langton, Ashley Forsyth. And an amazing accomplishment this year, we have someone for 45 years. We have Kathy Ferguson, who just completed 45 years with the credit union system. Thank you again to all of you for your dedication and time with our credit union.
Okay, at this point, we're going to move on in our agenda, and I'm going to call on Brian from Virtus Group. Our auditor's report is coming up. Financial statements. Brian?
Thank you. My name is Brian Heinrichs. I'm a partner with Virtus Group. We are the auditors of the credit union. And as part of your AGM package, you will find some summary statements there. They include a page where management signs off. The general manager and the chair of the audit and risk committee just sign off taking ownership of these numbers. What follows is our audit opinion, and it is a clean audit opinion dated February 24th, which is the date that the board approved these financial statements. And it also confirms that the numbers in the summary financial statements are consistent with the full audited set of financial statements, which would be available to members upon request. The summary statement of financial position shows that the assets for the credit union increased from 306 million to 317 million. The bulk of that increase is in the loans receivable balance, which was up from 160 million to 171 million. On the liability side, the increase is primarily due to an increase in deposits of $8 million. And then the retained earnings went up by $3 million due to the net income for the year. On the summary statement of comprehensive income, you can see interest revenue was up from 13.315 million due primarily to the increased loans balance and the investment balance. And then on the interest expense side, also up due to the increased deposit balance as well as increased rates for the year. And then on the expense side, up from about 7.2 to 7.7 million, primarily in the general business and personnel categories. And so all of that led to a bottom line of 2.7 million for the year. So very strong, successful result for the year. And my congratulations to the credit union and its team for that. And I also want to confirm that we did get full cooperation during the audit, and I want to express my appreciation to management for that. Again, a clean audit opinion for the year. So thank you for the opportunity to work with you again this year. I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, Brian. So it's that time that I'll check around for questions. If anybody has any questions, now is the time to raise your hand and we will address them. And as always, if you do have questions outside of today's meeting, please reach out to any of the directors or any of the management team, and we will definitely do our best to satisfy your queries. Any questions? Seeing none, we will move on. For the adoption of the reports that have presented, we'll need a motion to adopt the reports. We'll need somebody to make that motion. If somebody would like to give us that, Dale Martin. We'll need a seconder for that motion.
Pam Eaton.
Pam Eaton. We will move to the poll for consensus. And Brock gives us the thumbs up, so we're good to go. Okay, we need to appoint auditors for 2025, and I would like to move to appoint Virtus Group based on the recommendation of the audit committee. We'll need somebody to second this motion. Dale seconds it. We will move to the poll to carry that to consensus. And once again, Brock gives the thumbs up, so we're all good to go with that. Okay, so new business. If anybody has anything they'd like to bring up at this point, this is the time to do it. However, you're not limited to this meeting. Please bring it up at any time, and we will address it at the board and with management. Any new business from the floor today? Just give it a second so that everybody has the opportunity to bring up any comments, questions, or concerns. Seeing nothing, That concludes our very quick meeting today, but I think we've covered everything. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, for the membership, and for all those who participated, our auditors from our peer group, and everybody in the credit union and cooperative field. Thank you very much for attending once again, and I wish you a great day, and we need a motion to adjourn. Darlene Wilson has her hand up. Thank you ever so much. Everybody, please have a great day.